Welcome to It's English Podcast. I'm Brian, and I'm so happy to have you here. Let's learn English the easy and fun way together.
This is the It's English Podcast. I'm Mary.
And I'm Brian. Already distracted. Couldn't be more fitting.
Welcome, everyone. This podcast is about real conversations in natural, everyday English.
Not textbook language, not formal, just real.
Today, social media, our honest relationship with it, and what one day without it might actually feel like.
It sounds like a small question.
But the more we prepared, the more interesting it became.
Really did. Quick question before we start. How many hours a day do you spend on social media?
Think about it honestly. Drop your answer in the comments. 1 hour, 2 hours, more than 3?
No judgment. We just genuinely want to know.
Because most people have a number in their head.
And then they check their screen time, and it's completely different.
The first time I checked mine, I thought maybe an hour and a half.
And?
Nearly 3 hours. I had no idea where it had gone.
Leave your number in the comments. It's a useful thing to know about yourself. Let's go back to what Mary said at the start. Social media made me busier, more scattered, and strangely empty. That's a very honest thing to say.
It took a long time to put it into words.
Why?
Because when you're inside a habit, you don't examine it. You wake up and scroll. You have a free minute and scroll. You eat and scroll.
It just becomes life.
Exactly. It stops feeling like a behavior. It just feels like existing.
And the emptiness. Can you explain that more?
It wasn't dramatic. I wasn't scrolling and thinking, I hate this.
More subtle?
Much more subtle. I'd put my phone down and feel slightly flat. Not sad, just a notch lower than before I picked it up.
Like something had been taken.
Like a slow leak. And because nothing dramatic caused it, I never connected it to the scrolling.
You just thought you were tired.
Or having an off day. It took a long time to see the pattern.
And when you said busier, what did you mean?
Social media creates a strange kind of busyness. You're constantly consuming, constantly reacting, even just internally.
Small reactions stacking up.
Exactly. Someone posts something. You agree. You disagree. You feel a flicker of envy. You feel warm for them.
And those add up.
And by the end of the day, your brain is genuinely tired, but you haven't done anything obviously tiring.
You've just been sitting and scrolling.
Right. And it's a strange kind of exhaustion because you can't explain it.
And the scattered part.
That one's the most obvious, but also the most dismissed. Yes, social media distracts us. We know that.
But you think it goes deeper.
I think it changes how you pay attention, even when you're not on your phone.
That surprised me most when I thought about it. Let's talk about the automatic part, because I think it's central to everything.
What do you mean by automatic?
The way you reach for your phone without deciding to. There's a small pause, waiting for something, a gap between tasks.
And your hand just goes.
Your hand goes to the phone. You open an app, and then a moment later you think, wait, I wasn't planning to do this.
And it happens so fast you don't even catch it.
The phone is in your hand, and you're already scrolling before your brain has registered any decision.
Like adjusting your posture or blinking.
Not a choice, just a reflex.
If most people watched themselves for one full day, they'd be surprised.
I tried that once, just for one day. I didn't change anything, I only tried to notice.
And?
It was uncomfortable, way more than I expected.
What does a lot look like?
I'd put my phone down, then pick it up 2 minutes later.
Nothing had changed.
Nothing had changed. No new message, nothing. I just picked it up.
The impulse completed itself before you'd had a single thought.
Exactly.
And you'd already checked. There was nothing new.
Still checked.
Because the habit doesn't care whether there's something to find. The motion itself has become the thing.
You'd think the reward is finding something, a message, a like, a funny clip.
Sometimes it is, but often there's nothing. You scroll, put it down, feel the same, and do it again.
Which sounds strange when you describe it.
But in the moment, it just feels normal because it is normal now. Let's talk about time, because this is where people are most surprised.
There's a real difference between time you decide to spend on social media and time that just gets absorbed.
Deliberate versus automatic.
Right. If you decide, I'll sit down for 20 minutes and catch up, that's a choice.
You know what you're doing. You stop when you planned.
But automatic use doesn't work that way. You never decided to start.
So you never decide to stop.
You just drift, and the time comes in fragments.
5 minutes here, 10 minutes there.
15 at lunch, 20 before bed.
None of those feel significant.
But at the end of the day, you look at your screen time and it says 3 hours.
And you genuinely don't know where it went.
Because it never went anywhere in one big block.
It just leaked out all day, every day.
I checked my weekly report last year. It said 3.5 hours a day on social media.
What did you think?
I stared at it. I couldn't picture when it was happening.
Because you weren't sitting down for 3-hour sessions.
It was threaded through everything, every gap, every pause.
And you have nothing to show for it mentally.
You couldn't tell me what you saw during most of that time.
It just moved past your eyes.
Whereas if you'd spent 3 hours reading or watching a film,
You'd have something, a memory, something you learned.
scrolling just evaporates.
And that's part of what creates the emptiness I mentioned at the start.
You've spent real time, a lot of it, and have almost nothing from it. The emotional dimension of this is the most quietly powerful part.
And the hardest to see clearly.
It's like a background shift. You're fine. You scroll. You put the phone down.
And you're slightly less fine.
Not bad. Not upset. Just a degree lower.
Because it's not dramatic. You don't suddenly feel devastated.
It's much quieter.
And the comparison piece, but not in the obvious way.
What do you mean?
People hear social media and comparison and think, obviously, I know not to compare myself to influencers.
But that's not really it.
It's your friend's weekend trip, not a celebrity, just a friend.
And you have a tiny reaction.
Not jealousy exactly, just a vague feeling that your weekend was somehow smaller.
That life feels fuller for other people.
And you know it's not rational. You know what people post is curated.
Your brain knows all of this.
But the feeling doesn't consult your brain.
And because the shift is so small, you never connect it to the scrolling.
You just think you're a bit flat, or it's that kind of day.
There's also the opinions piece.
Yes, social media is full of very confident opinions.
Everyone has a take on everything.
And after a while, it makes you feel like everyone else has things figured out.
Like everyone's in on something you're not.
Which isn't real, but the feeling is still there. There's also the attention dimension, and this affects you even when you're not on your phone.
You carry it into your day.
Social media is built around constant switching. One post, then another, then an ad, then a reel.
Nothing stays still.
And if that's the environment you're in for hours a day, your brain calibrates to that rhythm.
What does that mean in practice?
When you try to stay in one place, reading an article, writing, working for an hour, your brain feels restless.
Like it's waiting for the next thing to appear.
It gets conditioned to switching.
I feel that with reading. I used to read for long stretches without thinking about it.
And now?
Now, after a few pages, I notice an urge to check something. My attention pulls toward a screen even when I'm holding a book.
The book hasn't done anything wrong.
It's just slower. It doesn't update every 3 seconds.
And your brain expects that now.
You can still read, but it takes more deliberate effort than it should,
You have to override the pull.
rather than just reading naturally.
The stillness of a book starts to feel almost wrong.
This is one of the less discussed costs. Not the time, not even the mood.
But the way it changes your ability to simply stay with one thing.
Which is tiring in a way it never used to be.
And it only becomes visible when you actually take a break.
When you remove the constant switching and let your brain be in one place.
The quality of your attention starts to recover. Which brings us to the heart of today's episode, one full day without social media.
Let's walk through what that actually looks like, starting with the morning.
Normally, the alarm goes off and I'm already opening Instagram. Alarm off, app open.
One motion, almost no gap.
The alarm has become a trigger.
So on a no social media morning, alarm goes off, you switch it off, and then nothing.
Just lying there, awake, no feed to open.
Your hand might still reach for the phone out of habit.
And then you remember.
Not today. Which sounds peaceful, but the first thing you'd feel is a kind of incompleteness.
Like reaching for something that wasn't there.
Then you just lie there, which sounds simple.
Which is actually very unusual for most people.
You let your mind wake up at its own pace.
Without immediately loading it with other people's content.
After a few minutes, something shifts.
Your morning thoughts are just your thoughts. What you need to do today, how you slept, what's on your mind.
Without the overlay of 20 other people's lives already in your head.
Normally, by the time I finish my morning scroll, you've already processed what 15 or 20 people are doing, their photos, opinions, news, and I haven't gotten out of bed.
So your head is full before your day has technically started.
On the no phone morning, it's just empty. In a good way.
Like a desk that's been cleared. And those in-between moments, waiting for coffee, warming up the shower.
Normally, the phone appears.
Without it, those moments are just moments.
Or just a bit boring, if we're honest.
Both are true, but something happens in those still moments.
Your brain settles.
It finds its own level before the day starts pulling it in different directions.
A quiet start versus a noisy start. That does matter.
Breakfast. I eat with my phone almost every single morning.
Same. Food in one hand, phone in the other.
It's become so normal that eating without a screen feels like something is missing.
On the no phone morning, you sit down and the table is just a table.
Your food is just your food.
I tried this once. Sat down, ate properly, looked out the window.
And?
For the first 2 minutes, I didn't know what to do with my hands.
Because it is quiet.
But then it passed, and I actually tasted my food.
Which sounds like a joke.
It isn't. When you scroll while eating, you're not really eating. You're just refueling.
Food becomes fuel. The screen becomes the experience.
Without the screen, the meal is the experience. It was genuinely nicer.
Work. This is where it gets complicated.
A lot of phone use during the day happens in the gaps, breaks, transitions.
Every pause, the phone fills it.
But scrolling during a break isn't actually resting. You're still consuming, still processing.
Your brain is still working. Whereas a real break, stepping outside, standing in the kitchen doing nothing,
That's actually restorative. Your brain gets a genuine pause.
instead of just switching channels.
Scrolling is channel switching. It's not off time.
And on a no-phone workday, breaks might feel more like real breaks.
Even if they feel less entertaining.
But you might return to work feeling more rested.
After a scrolling break, you sometimes feel more scattered than before.
What about waiting? I think waiting reveals a lot about phone habits.
The way most people handle waiting now, in a queue, waiting for a friend,
Phone out, app open, time gone.
we've gotten so good at eliminating waiting that we've almost forgotten what it feels like.
On a no-phone day, you stand in line and you just wait.
You look around, you notice who's in front of you,
You might overhear a conversation, you look at things near you,
and the time passes, but you feel it passing.
which can feel slow.
2 minutes can feel like 4, and your hand will reach for the phone.
You put it back and just stand there.
But waiting is when you think, when your brain idles and produces things on its own.
Old memories, random ideas, things you've been meaning to sort through.
Waiting has always been part of being alive. We just got very good at hiding it.
It's like a busy road versus a quiet side street.
The quiet street is still a street, but things can happen there that can't happen on the busy road.
There's simply no room on the busy road.
Your mind needs some quiet streets.
The evening, hardest part by far.
Because the evening is when most people unwind, and social media is so woven into that unwinding that it basically is the unwinding.
You finish work, sit down, reach for your phone.
Maybe put something on TV at the same time.
half watching, half scrolling.
And it feels like relaxing.
But your brain is still consuming, still processing.
Your body rests, your mind doesn't.
On a no-phone evening, I think you would notice your tiredness more clearly.
Because normally, scrolling gives you a low-level buzz that masks how tired you are.
Without it, you sit down and realize, oh, I'm actually really exhausted.
Which is useful information. You might go to bed earlier, or watch something properly, actually watching it, not divided between the TV and the feed.
You can watch one thing and feel like you had a real experience.
Rather than reaching the end of both and remembering neither.
I noticed that on low phone days, I actually enjoy what I'm watching.
Because all your attention is on it, like your nervous system realizes it doesn't need to stay on alert for new information, and it can just be still.
I want to go back to something from the very start.
The strangely empty part?
Yes, because I think it's the most important thing to actually understand.
Why is it strange?
Because you can't easily point to a reason. With most things that make you feel low, there's a clear cause.
You're tired because you didn't sleep, you're stressed because of a deadline.
But this emptiness has no name. It just sits there.
And you can't reason your way out of it.
Because you don't know what you're reasoning against.
And most people never connect it to the phone, because the phone is just always there. It's become invisible as a cause.
Like trying to notice the air, you're always in it.
And you never think to ask what life feels like without it.
Until you step outside of it, even briefly.
That's the real value of a day without it. Not that it solves anything.
Not a reset or a cure.
Just enough distance to actually see what you've been standing in.
A little perspective.
Sometimes that's all you need.
We should name the other side. We've talked a lot about the effects.
But not what social media genuinely offers, because it is how a lot of people stay connected. Family far away, friends you rarely see.
Communities built around things you care about.
And it's a genuine source of information, entertainment, humor, creativity.
There's real good in it, not just theoretical.
So this isn't a conversation about getting rid of it. It's more, what does your actual relationship with it look like?
And is that the relationship you choose if you were being intentional?
Because there's a difference between using it to stay connected and scrolling automatically because you don't know what to do with your hands.
Most of us do both, on different days in different proportions.
One is a choice. One is a habit that's running you.
The question isn't, is social media good or bad?
It's, do I know which one I'm doing right now?
Am I choosing this, or is this just happening?
Because once you can see it clearly,
Even if you keep doing exactly what you're doing.
at least it's a decision, not a drift.
One thing I've noticed on low phone days, I have more of my own thoughts.
What do you mean?
Actual thoughts, my own ideas, observations about things around me,
On heavy phone days, your head is full of other people's content.
other people's thinking, their opinions, their news.
And on lighter days,
There's more room for my own. That's a good way to put it. Your inner life has more space.
and the thoughts I have aren't particularly brilliant.
They're usually very ordinary.
What I feel like cooking, something I've been meaning to sort out, a memory that surfaces.
But they're yours.
They come from my own head, not as reactions to someone else's feed.
And I think that matters more than it sounds.
Because so much of who we are is built in those quiet, uninterrupted moments.
When we're just with our own minds,
And if that time is constantly filled with external content,
you lose some of that.
it's a subtle shift, but it's real.
You become more of a receiver than a thinker. Honestly, do you use social media differently now than before?
A little. I haven't deleted anything.
No big detox?
No. But I notice things I didn't used to notice.
Like what?
I'll pick up my phone, and I'll catch myself doing it automatically.
And?
Sometimes I just put it down, not because I'm not allowed, just because I noticed.
And in that moment, you'd rather not.
Right.
Just noticing. It doesn't sound like much.
But it changes things. From something happening to you,
"'Tis something you're at least partly watching happen."
and that distance is enough to make small choices possible.
That's the key thing, noticing.
I've been trying something similar, not rules, not restrictions.
Just occasionally asking, do I actually want to open this, or am I just reaching?
And sometimes the answer is yes, I genuinely want to.
And sometimes,
Actually, no, not really.
when it's no, what do you do instead?
Usually nothing interesting. I just don't open the app.
You sit there for a minute, look out the window.
Go back to whatever I was doing.
Nothing dramatic.
But it's a choice, not a reflex.
And somehow that makes it feel different.
Mary, earlier you used the word hollow to describe how social media made you feel. What does that actually mean? Yeah, hollow means empty inside, like a shell with nothing in it. Emotionally, it's that strange flatness, a lack of meaning, even when nothing is obviously wrong.
So it's not exactly sadness, more like something missing.
Exactly. After a long scroll session, I'd put my phone down feeling hollow, not upset, just drained of something I couldn't quite name.
And I guess that connects to something else you mentioned, the idea of it becoming automatic. You used the word reflex.
Right. A reflex is an automatic response, physical or mental. It's something your body or mind does without any conscious decision. You don't even think about it.
So almost like your brain skips the decision part entirely.
Exactly. Picking up my phone had become a pure reflex. My hand was already moving before I had any thought about it.
That makes sense, especially when you think about what we're actually seeing online. You described it as curated.
Yeah, curated means carefully selected and arranged to show only the best version of something. On social media, people choose what to share, so you're mostly seeing highlights, not the ordinary or difficult parts.
So basically a polished version of reality.
Exactly. You know social media is curated. Nobody posts a photo of themselves tired on a Monday morning.
And the interesting part is that content doesn't just stay on the screen. You said it becomes an overlay in your mind.
Yeah, an overlay is something placed on top of something else, like an extra layer. In this case, it means other people's lives, opinions, and updates start sitting on top of your own thinking.
Even before your day properly starts?
Exactly. By the time I finish my morning scroll, there's already an overlay of 20 other people's lives on my own thinking.
And while all that is happening, time kind of slips away. You use the word evaporate.
Yeah, to evaporate means to disappear gradually, like water turning into vapor. You don't notice it happening, but suddenly it's gone.
So that's why scrolling feels so hard to track.
Exactly. 3 hours of scrolling just evaporated. I couldn't tell you what I'd seen or where the time went. Okay, let me flip this a bit. Brian, you use the word calibrate when talking about how the brain adapts. What does that mean?
Good question. To calibrate means to adjust something so it fits a certain standard or environment. In this case, the brain fine-tunes itself to expect constant switching because that's what it's been exposed to.
So the brain basically learns the pattern.
Exactly. After months of fast scrolling, my brain had calibrated to expect new input every few seconds, which made reading feel unusually slow.
That explains a lot. So then what about taking a break? You called a real break restorative.
Yeah, restorative means something that helps you recover. Your energy, your calm, your focus. It's not just distraction, it's actual recovery.
So scrolling doesn't really count as rest.
Not really. Standing in the kitchen doing nothing for 5 minutes is more restorative than scrolling because your brain actually gets to stop.
That's interesting, because most of the time we're not even deciding to scroll. We just sort of drift into it.
Exactly. To drift means to move without direction, like being carried by a current instead of steering yourself.
So it's not a choice, it just happens?
Right. I never decided to spend 40 minutes scrolling. I just drifted and suddenly 40 minutes had passed.
Which makes the opposite really important. You mentioned intentional use.
Yeah, intentional means doing something on purpose, with awareness and a clear reason. You choose to open the app, you know why, and you decide when to stop.
So it's about being in control again.
Exactly. Intentional use like messaging a friend or watching something specific is very different from picking up your phone out of habit.
And finally, something we almost never allow anymore, you mentioned the brain idling.
Yeah, to idle means to run without doing specific work, like a car engine in neutral. When your mind idles, it's not focused, it just wanders.
And that's actually useful?
Very. Real waiting, without a phone, lets your mind idle, and that's often when your most interesting or creative thoughts appear.
We've covered a lot today. Automatic behavior, time and where it goes,
The quiet emotional effects, what heavy use does to your attention.
and what a real day without it might look like, morning to evening.
None of it has a clean answer.
But it's worth sitting with.
Maybe worth one day's experiment, just to see.
Or not. This isn't a prescription.
You might try it and think, I missed it. I'm glad to be back.
And that's useful information too,
Because then you know you chose to come back.
not just drifted back.
We want to leave you with one question.
If you tried one full day without social media, what do you think would shift first? Your time, because suddenly you'd have more of it?
Your mood? Because the comparison noise would go quiet.
Your focus, because the constant fragmentation would ease?
Leave your answer in the comments. Time, mood, or focus.
Or something completely different that we didn't think of?
We love hearing from you. This topic means a lot to both of us.
Thank you for spending this time with us today. If you're practicing your English and found this useful, please subscribe.
More real conversations are coming. Real topics, real English.
That's what we're here for. Take care of yourselves. See you in the next episode.